God Serena's biggest secret revealed. God Serena, one of the four gods of Ishgard prior to his betrayal, said to be one of the strongest of the elite Spriggan 12, despite the way that he was absolutely mutilated by Acnologia and a second-generation Dragon Slayer with not one, but 8 separate lacrimas. To say the very least, this man had a large amount of potential within the story of Fairy Tail. However, even though God Serena was absolutely brutally annihilated by Acnologia, one of, if not the most disappointing one-shots throughout the entirety of Fairy Tail, I still have no doubt in my mind whatsoever that God Serena is a character that we still know little to anything about within the story of Fairy Tail. In the grand scheme of things, at this current point in time, we really know nothing about God Serena's past, however, despite the fact that prior to him becoming one of the Spriggan 12, he actually resided in Ishgard and actually bared the title of one of the 4 gods of Ishgard, and the fact that sometime, most likely prior to him actually becoming one of the 4 gods of Ishgard, he actually received the power of a Dragon Slayer in the form of 8 lacrimas. Yeah, with a character like God Serena, there has to be more than just what we know right now. Now, the theory that I'm actually sharing in today's video is actually a community theory that has been going on around the community for months on end. However, I'm going to be adding a large amount of ideas to it, and with the end goal of actually making God Serena's past, I guess, less of a mystery. With God Serena being dead at this point, however, who really knows? We may never actually receive the answers to the burning question of what took place in this character's past. It could very likely forever be a mystery. So what if God Serena's true identity was actually none other than one of the co-founders of the Fairy Tail Guild and the father of Makarov Dreyar, Yuriy Dreyar? Now, for starters, this would be absolutely insane, and this alone could very well explain how Zeref and God Serena knew one another, seeing as we know Zeref was the original person who actually taught Mavis and the co-founders of Fairy Tail how to utilize magic, not to mention the fact that this could explain their identical character designs. However, you can't really just say that God Serena is Yuriy Dreyar and just be completely done with it. As I said before, I personally have a ton of possible leads that could actually make this connection a reality. Let's go and start from square one. Last we heard in regards to Yuri's character was that he died shortly after the birth of his son Makarov. However, with this theory in mind, Yuriy was alive all along, but how could this be? Well, for starters, it's likely that Yuriy, much like Mavis, wasn't actually seen for a long time and was just presumed dead at that current point in time. Just like when Mavis went missing for a year after killing Makarov's very own mother by accident, and the instance that Yuriy and God Serena were simply the same people all along, Yuri's supposed death could have actually happened around the same time that he cut ties with Ishgard and went under the identity of God Serena. But what would his motives be to do such a thing? Maybe he was offered to spy as one of the Spriggan 12 in Zeref's new empire, or maybe him and Presh, who at the time likely would have been the guildmaster, while Mavis was actually absent and presumed dead herself, could have actually gotten to an argument that actually escalated to the point where Yuriy abandoned Ishgard. Who really knows at this point? His possible motives aren't all too evident at this current point in time. I have another thing that I actually want to go and quickly throw in here, as I really don't know how to tie it in, but in the grand scheme of things, it is a very, very big part to my evidence, and this is the fact that in the instance that Yuriy is God Serena, he wasn't the only god of Ishgard who was also part of the Fairy Tail Guild, seeing as Warid was actually one of the 4 gods of Ishgard alongside him, and I highly doubt that this is coincidental. A lot of people who want to disprove this theory as well try and point out the fact that Yuriy and God Serena actually used 2 different forms of magic. Yuriy used some form of like lightning magic or something along the lines of that, while God Serena is a Dragon Slayer with 8 lacrimas. However, God Serena wasn't always a Dragon Slayer, seeing as he is a 2nd generation Dragon Slayer, which means that at some point in time he received the lacrimas to utilize his power. It's also quite likely that Zeref could have actually helped Yuriy retrieve all 8 of his lacrimas as well after he abandoned Ishgard, which actually could have been possible motives again for him to do so. The ability to become stronger with the loss of those close to you. But yeah, although they were both known to utilize different forms of magic, it's still highly likely that they could be the same people for this very reason. Nevertheless, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Do you guys think that it's possible that Yuriy Dreyar and God Serena could be one and the same? Do not forget to like this video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. Peace.